welcome into the Banter, everybody. If you watched the last episode and you saw the wheel spin, you're probably thinking, now where's Hunter at?
Uh-oh.
Now where's Hunter
right
at?
here.
He decided
Hey,
that...
guys. I know I sound like Hunter. Hey.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hunter.
Yeah, go ahead. Lead off with a Hunter impression.
Yeah,
That's
I like
a good,
that.
I like that.
I like
Good
that.
start.
What's up, welcome to Foundation Nation Head. Welcome to the Banter. This is sponsored by Manscaped. Clean your balls. Your balls will thank you.
Nice. So Hunter decided that the wheel has no power over him, and he had busier things to do this morning, so he subbed in Silas. So I guess that's a thing now.
Hey.
We didn't. Hold on. Here we go.
You guys could decide in the comments what his punishment is for defying the wheel, because the wheel is...
I think we tie him to the wheel, and we
That's a
spin
good
him
idea.
around, and we throw knives.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Would you... Okay. If I was on one of those wheels, like you see with like the throwing knife act, we were still trying to get the color changed.
I hit him with it.
Hit him with
Okay,
it.
there we go.
Do you think if you just had to throw one knife and you're like 10 feet away, you think you can miss me? If I'm spinning on one of those wheels, you got a throwing knife?
No.
Yeah, I would probably hit you.
I could probably. All I can do with a throwing knife is I know if I'm 10 feet away, that means I'm throwing it from the blade. That's all I. That's
like
it?
the
Yeah,
rotation.
that's the
Wait,
rotation.
so the further back you are, or the...
Well, no, actually,
about-
if I'm on the wheel, you want it to go from the other thing.
That's true.
Because
That's
you don't
true.
want the blade to hit.
I know with throwing
Well,
knives.
maybe he does.
With throwing knives, it's about every 5 feet it switches from handle
Oh.
to. So at 5 feet, you
What do you
throw.
do with an axe?
That's
An axe is the same thing every time. It's just over
That's
your head.
funny because in movies, like obviously, if you were at a competition, you would know like how to judge that. But if it was like a real life scenario, you just have to like.
No,
I think you just
yeah.
have to throw from the blade and just hope that you're within the right 5 feet.
Yeah,
Because like
Well,
you don't have a chance of like.
there's definitely like an
calculating.
amount of like instinct of like just knowing. Like the same thing as like I know how much power to put on this judging with my depth.
Well, do you throw knives often?
I used to whenever I was in middle school.
Whenever I was whenever I first got to college, for whatever reason, I think it was because of just like the newfound independence. But whenever I first got to college, my roommates, not even really me in particular, but both of my roommates, like quickly found this obsession with the idea that they could just go to Walmart and buy stupid random stuff. And nobody could tell
That's
them otherwise.
basically like just the way I'm constantly thinking.
Yeah, well, and
in my head always is just what can I go get from Walmart right now?
Yeah, if you get me in a store, I get to that mindset pretty quick. But one of those things was knives, like pocket knives, because they were just
Yeah.
like, they're so cheap.
Walmart knives are goated.
Yeah, and they're pretty decent, and they were like, it was that and like longboards. I mean, one of my favorite stories is my one roommate literally signing up for a Walmart credit card to get the reward dollars to buy this like skateboard.
That's a rough one.
The funny
Was it a fake penny board?
Yeah, it was I think it was a penny board. And it was so funny.
I used to want one of those.
The tough
so
thing is
bad.
that Walmart knives goated. A lot
And
of
they
Walmart
would take
things
these
goated.
knives
There's
and they
not a
would-
single
Ozark Trail?
There's not a single skateboard at Walmart that is worth spending a penny
No,
on.
the Walmart knives though, they would take them and they would like drop them and get them to stick into our laminate floor. And I was like, "What are you guys?" Like, I was like, "Stop doing that! Like, you're gonna wreck the floor." And they would just be like, stick right to the floor.
That seems
no, it's
like
not going to ruin the
Connor
floor. It's
would
just
do.
stabbing it.
Yeah, like I don't know what it was.
We did whenever I was in college. This is actually just makes you a bad person. But we the third step. So where we stayed on part of campus that we called East. So it was more like apartment style living.
It was
just for those of you
Were
watching.
you always on
It was
East?
No,
It
I
was
wasn't.
a lowly place over there on East
So there-
Campus.
so basically there's, like,
anything
there-
goes on East.
Yeah, so basically there's parts of campus that were like more like typical dorm style. My freshman and sophomore year, I stayed somewhere where it was like this place is basically a hotel. It's like the newest buildings they had. It's also the most expensive though. So then my last year, I was like, you know what? I think it'd be cool to have a kitchen. So I went to East Campus, which is some of the cheapest. That's not true, but it's not the most expensive.
I think
And
these days it is the cheapest.
it's like,
Really?
but it's like way away from everything on campus. Like
It's on the other side of a road, basically.
Yeah.
You got to walk through a tunnel.
Yeah,
It is
it's
a long
walk
walk.
to get anywhere.
But I wish I had my one wheel in college. But
Yeah.
it was fun though because it was basically an apartment, an apartment with 2, sometimes 3 rooms. We had a 3-room one, and then you would like multiple people would stay in each room. So you're basically in an apartment. And so it was really, I had a lot of fun in it. But the stairs leading up to our apartment were wooden. They have now replaced them with metal and concrete, I think because of what we have done. But we noticed like we didn't notice anything. Literally the first day we were moving in, we jumped and I like jumped and landed hard on the third step. And then I just turned around to everyone and it was like we all had like me and my group of friends all had the same thought at the same time, which was let's try to break this step. And so we just not like we'll all just take turns stomping on this step, but as in like every single day we had just like this rule that every single day whenever you walk down the steps, you jump as hard as you can on the third step. Because by the end of the year, the step is going to be broken.
Did you break it?
Yeah, was it mission success?
How long did it take?
I mean, it was because it never got fixed while we were there. So it was just like, by the end of the year, this thing was sketchy. But they didn't have to replace it yet. But it was like, obviously, you would step on it, and it was like sideways and lower than the other steps.
Did
like,
you ever get to a point where you were scared to jump on it anymore?
Yes.
Okay.
Very quickly, it got to that point because it started sinking fast.
Yeah.
And
You're like,
so-
somebody's going to go through this.
Yeah. So just things that whenever you're in college, you don't think my actions have effects on other people. Mm-hmm. You're just like, this would be funny for my friends, and so you just ignore everything else. It's yeah.
That's good stuff.
I don't think it's wise, but it made for a good story.
Yeah.
Oh, that was very
Only
fun.
a few people got hurt.
Yeah. No
I'm just
big deal.
kidding.
Get over it.
All right, I got to turn the AC off real quick. You guys
one of my
talk for a
favorite
second.
stories from East Campus. I think this was. I can't remember who this was that told me this, but somebody was like bowling in their dorm or something and shattered their oven. Like rolled a bowling ball into their oven door or something. And
I
shattered
wonder
it.
what it's like to see those maintenance guys. They're just like, get the most.
Oh, dude! One time,
What?
No, dude.
What
Me
are
and
you doing?
me and the
I
janitorial staff
feel
were cool.
bad for
Like I would always run into the one janitor guy on like my hall, and one time, I don't know how this situation happened, but he had one of the like industrial sized rolls of paper towels that they use for like the rollers to like just like the
Paper towel
Yeah.
dispenser.
whatever. He had it, and he was like, I was walking out the door. He's like, "Hey man, do you want this?" And he had a full roll of them, and I was like, yeah, I guess. Like I didn't know what to do. Like I don't know why he asked me. Like it's almost like he had an extra one and wasn't supposed to, and was just trying to get rid of the evidence or something. But
Oh my
in any
gosh.
case, I had a roll that was probably 1.5 feet in diameter.
Oh my
It
gosh.
lasted me more than the rest of the
that's
year. I
dumb.
never ran out of paper towels again.
That's what
Wow.
we need here.
Well, the only problem is they
Industrial.
do suck.
Are they like the brown
Yeah.
ones?
Yes, they do suck.
Yeah.
They are
It's
basically
literally just like construction paper.
yeah, basically construction paper. But it was great if we had a mess and we had many. So
That is so funny.
yeah, I was like, it's the weirdest thing. Like I remember trying to explain it to my roommates, and they're like, "What do you mean he just gave it to you?" Just asked me if I needed it. And I was like, sure. I'm not going to refuse free stuff.
I gotta tell you, that just reminded me of something. All right. Have I ever told you guys about my run-in with I don't know if I don't want to say his full name on here, so I'm gonna change his first name.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we know who you're talking about?
No.
Oh, okay.
And it's likely that he will never see this.
Okay.
But the story's so much better if I have a name to use.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna call him Charles. All right.
Okay.
Charles Sweeney.
Okay.
Okay, so he had at our college at Liberty, we had these things called community groups, and basically it was just like a group where you made sure everybody was doing good, and you had conversations about like messages that we had heard and stuff like that. So it was like basically just like hey, you're in college, let's make sure that you're healthy while you're in college. And I was a community group leader, which meant that every Wednesday night we would have this thing called Campus Community where we would have like worship and a message and everything. And then after that, we would go back to our community groups. Now, you weren't forced to. It was only if you wanted to. And then I would lead my community group in discussion, and we would talk about it, kind of see what's going on in everybody's lives. Well, I had this one guy in my community group. I forgot his name. I feel terrible.
Charles.
No, it wasn't him. Different guy. Anyway.
Richard.
I think his name was... His name was David. I remember now. His name was David. So
So you're gonna give his name away?
yes, because he didn't do anything wrong. So David walks up to me, and he's got like this guy with him after a campus community, before community groups, and dude looks like he's seen a ghost. All right, it's like he's literally like he's staring at me. He's like, And I'm just like, hey, David, what's up, buddy? And he's like, hey, this guy right here, I wanted to see if he could come to our community group with us. And I was like, yeah, sure. I don't have a problem with it. If he wants to come to our community group, I've got no problem with that. And he was like, yeah. And then he turned to the guy and he was like, will you just show him your Flames Pass? Flames Pass was our student IDs. And he was like, will you just show him your Flames Pass? And the guy that he was with was like, yeah, I can. I started taking out his Flames Pass. And Dave was just like, just looks distraught. And I'm like, why is David making him show me? Like, I'll just let him in. I don't care. And so he shows me his Flames Pass. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, go ahead, go into my dorm. I'll be in there in a second.
What?
What?
What a crazy start to this story.
Yeah, what? Yeah. Where is this leading?
So I walk in there. And so we're actually in somebody else's dorm. Meeting.
Okay.
So I can just tell that David looks like he's about to die.
And he's the one that introduced this guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have no idea what's going on.
It's like he's being held hostage.
Yeah. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go. Does anybody want any coffee or something? And thankfully I was like, I want some coffee. And then somebody else was like, yeah, I'll take some coffee. I was like, David, will you go with me really quick to carry the mugs? And he was like, yeah. And so we walked out of there and walked into my dorm. I'm like, David, what's going on, man? Like, you look like you saw a ghost, is what I said. And I was like, what's happening? He was like, so I saw this guy sitting alone at Doc's, which is like Doc's is a restaurant on campus, but it's like kind of off campus.
Rip.
And yeah, it's gone now.
Some
And so he was like, I saw this guy sitting by himself, and I just thought it'd be really nice if I went and sat with him and shared the gospel with him. So I went and sat over there, and I was like, okay, sick, David. So far, I'm proud of you. And he said, I went and sat over there, and I was talking to him, and now he won't leave me alone. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, he won't leave me. He just won't stop talking, and he won't leave me. Like, he just asked me if he can come to my community group. And he said, so I just got stressed and just said, yeah. And then he followed me up here, and he said, I don't think he's a student. And I was like, what do you mean you don't think he's a student? He said,
you saw his flame.
He said, because I kept on asking him about his degree, and he doesn't know what his degree is. And he said that he transferred here. And also I asked him where he lives, and he said on East. But then whenever we started walking, he walked a different way. And he doesn't know what number on East he lives on. And he's like, he doesn't know what room number he is. He doesn't know the name of his RAs. He doesn't know anything. I don't know if he's a student. And I'm like, well, he had a Flames Pass.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, well, David, don't freak out. You did a great thing. It was really cool that you saw this guy sitting alone and you wanted to have a relationship with him in some way. Like that's cool. I was like, you did a great thing. So just be encouraged by that. Everything's going to be okay. It's all going to be good. He's like, okay. And so I'm like, what the heck is happening? We walk back in there. We don't have an ounce of productive conversation because what name did I give him? Charles Sweeney guy. He derails this conversation real quick because we're like, so Charles, what's going on? Dude tells me this most ridiculous story.
Wait, says, Charles is the sketchy guy.
Sketchy guy, yeah.
Okay.
Charles is a real scrawny, skinny guy with glasses, kind of messy blonde hair, and he looks young. He's younger. He was maybe younger than me, but so he says, I transferred from Harvard.
Oh no!
And we're like,
yeah, okay,
really? That's crazy. And
that's the best.
He was like, yeah. We were like, what were you studying at Harvard? He was like, law. And we were like, oh, okay.
That's like if somebody told.
So why are you here?
If somebody told a 12-year-old to make up a college story,
Yes.
they would say that.
Yeah. So we're like, why? Yeah. Why did you transfer here? I don't really remember what he said. Didn't like something. I don't really remember some bullcrap answer.
Yeah.
Then my friend Evan
Bizarre.
was onto him.
Oh yeah.
At this point, and he goes, "Oh, let me give you a little background before we get to the onto him part." He said the reason why he went to Harvard, he wanted to study law because in his hometown, growing up, whenever he was in middle school, I think he said, he got arrested because he looked like a suspect.
Okay.
So because this is his story, is that he matched the description somewhat to a suspect. So they arrested him and they put him in jail overnight, and they held him. And he said, so then now his goal is to get a law degree.
So he was
And
falsely
sue
arrested.
the men that
he
arrested
claims.
him.
And he wants to sue his county.
That's got to be like a movie.
Yeah.
And that's what he wants. He wants to get a law degree so that he can sue his county.
That is amazingly hilarious.
So it goes to Harvard, he said. And he said,
Why not just get somebody to sue them for you?
why, or,
Do it yourself,
I don't know.
man.
I don't know.
DIY.
So then my friend,
getting dead
my buddy
do
Evan
yourself.
is like, "Oh, you went to Harvard?" He was like, "That's crazy." Like, and then he was like, "Yeah." He said something, and Evan was like, "What? So what part of Boston did you live in?" And he was like, "What? Where? I didn't live in Boston." And then Evan was like, "Well, you went to Harvard? It's in Boston?" And the guy was like, "I didn't know Harvard was in Boston." And and so we were like, "What?"
Is Harvard in Boston?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And so
I did not know that.
my friend Evan is like,
You would have found yourself in a real Charles situation.
Yeah.
my friend Evan is
There's
like, it's
nothing
like how
funnier
guys.
than-
There's something I forgot to tell you.
There's nothing
I went to
funnier.
Harvard.
Yeah, there's nothing funnier than having an alibi but not knowing anything about your alibi. That's
So he was like,
really
how
funny.
did you go to Harvard but you didn't know that you were in Boston? He was like, I don't know. My mom drove me every day. And so, well, your mom drove you to Harvard every day. so at this point, we're like, okay, this is a little bit
Okay,
weird.
buddy, what's your story?
We have no idea why he
We're
transferred
gonna have Chief
over
Hinckley
here.
here.
Yeah. So then he tells us that,
That's the police chief.
This is crazy.
I remember why David was so scared. This is a very important part of the story.
Oh, okay.
Oh, where's
He had a switchblade.
He said that while he was talking to him, he kept on telling him all the ways that he could kill him.
What?
Because he said,
How did you miss that? How did you miss
I was
that?
like, there's got to be more of a reason why David was scared. And now I remember. It's because he was he was like, yeah, I'm trained in Taekwondo. I'm like a black belt in Taekwondo and all these things. I could kill you in your sleep in so many ways. And this is why David started to get freaked out. So then when David was telling me this, like, I was like, it's fine. He's probably just a weird guy. Dude brings it up more in group. He's like, yeah, I always think about it like my roommate. I could kill him so easily because he snores so much in his sleep. All I had to do is do this, and he would be dead. And then
I mean,
we're
that's like a reason to contact the police.
yeah. So this guy's weird. I remember there was definitely an element that made this guy because we were scared
yeah.
of him. I forgot.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Because I know we were scared of him, but I couldn't remember why. That's why, because he was giving
He told
death
you that
threats. Basically,
he's the
yeah.
final destination.
Yes, yeah, he was the final of them. So then he goes on to tell us that he's number one in the world at PUBG Mobile.
Now it goes even crazier.
Oh.
Yeah, he
I
said
would
that,
honestly, if I were you guys, I would
forgot-
have just kept asking about things because I would love to
did.
hear like all the
We
things he's
did.
amazing at.
I forgot to tell you that just
what can
2
you make
weeks
up?
before this, he had just come back from a PUBG Mobile tournament in Dubai.
Oh, how much did he win?
Yeah, well, he could have won $250,000 being on his team, but he turned it down.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
prize money. Like just turned down free prize
he turned
money.
it down.
Yeah.
This is like actually what he's telling me, and I'm just like, what is going on right now?
That
And-
is.
I mean,
crazy.
eventually somebody has to say, like,
Yeah, like at what point does somebody in your group just
said
go,
something?
"Hey man, so
Does
obviously
anyone
you're
say
a
anything?
liar."
Yeah, so it is the end of group. It is kind of, it's hard to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Like it is hard to get him out of there, but eventually we kind of find a way to shuffle him out of there.
Yeah.
David still looks terrified. He thinks that this guy is going to murder him in the middle of the night.
I would too.
I don't
And-
blame him.
And so I like reassured David, "Hey, you're fine." Well, the like quad that we were meeting in was one of the RA's quads, and RA was really cool. So we were talking to him. We were like, "Hey, dude, this is what happened. This guy was super weird. Can you like look him up or something?"
Oh yeah, good idea.
And he looked him up, and his
He's probably a warrant out for his arrest.
under his thing, it like every student he looks up, it says like their email address, their address, like stuff like that. Whenever it said this guy's email address, it said like 12345 fake email at liberty.edu.
So
But he was in the system.
So he had gotten himself into the system somehow. So now he's like potentially a smart guy.
Yeah. Because, like,
'Cause
he got it. He got in.
I have no idea.
Is that the end of the story?
No. So
I was gonna say
there was a bug with the computer. Everybody's email said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fake email.
Oh, you're just leaving us there. I like that. Okay.
But there was a moment when we saw it and we were like, and David was like, I told you. And we were like, even my RA was like, his face turned red. And we were like, this guy was just in our dorm. Like this guy is going to bomb the school or something. And then he scrolled a little bit and he was like, oh guys, everybody, my email says that right now.
Okay.
Everybody's email says there's a bug with the system. We're like,
That's
okay,
crazy.
Thank goodness.
Wow, this is exciting stuff. This is,
Yeah,
this is why you go to college. It's
I
not
wanted
for
to
the
leave you
degree.
guys. I wanted to leave you guys there, just like we were left.
That
there
was
for a
really
second.
good storytelling.
And so then he gets in touch with this guy's RAs because he figures out where he lives and everything. And whenever dude leaves, he literally asks, like, do you guys know which direction whatever dorm is? I don't know what his deal was. And so he's
probably method acting.
Yes. I don't know. So our RA gets in touch with his RAs and they're like, yeah, dude, he's really weird. We've had to talk to him multiple times because he keeps on going up to people and telling them that he could kill them. And so he's just a really, really weird guy. He was also a liar, just a straight up liar. So yeah, Charles Sweeney.
Charles Sweeney.
Yeah,
I need like an update on his life.
Yeah,
maybe try and track him down.
I wonder if he ever
Look him
sued
up
the
on
county.
Try and look him up. You don't have to like show him anything, but like see if you can find him on social and then
I'll
give us
find
an update if you find
I'll find him.
That's
Do you
crazy.
remember his actual name?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay,
can't
so-
forget it.
That is absolutely crazy. I honestly like in my time in college, the only like crazy eventful things that happened were we did have one time one of our guys on our hall like came back to the dorm like super strung out on drugs or something, and like it's like the police came.
Jeez.
And that was like slightly eventful, but that wasn't that crazy. Like he didn't hurt anybody or anything, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
So it was just like the police came, so we saw the police on our hall, and we were like, "What in the world?" And like that was like a big deal.
That's-
But
yeah,
I don't know.
Kind of exciting.
Yeah, no. As far as
I wish
as far as things got, one time
Like, I wish I lived on campus, but at the same time,
there's a lot of memories there. One time, guys climbed up in the ceiling tiles and then fell through the ceiling in our RA's room. There's video of it at some point.
That's hilarious.
It was really funny.
Oh, this is totally him.
No way.
Because the profile picture is PUBG Mobile.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, you found them. Please give me updates. This is amazing.
I mean, this is definitely him.
Imagine, okay.
He just
imagine
started. I mean,
Imagine you clicked on it and it was him like holding a Harvard law degree and like everything he said was true.
Yeah.
The whole time.
his
was
cover
legit.
photo is a Ferrari.
Probably not his.
It's like his dream car or something.
He's in a relationship.
Oh boy.
No name though.
You don't know if
And
she goes to another
he
school.
just started. Well, this is
Harvard
in 2021. He started a new job as a professional a-hole.
That's what it says.
Yes, but it says the full word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nope. That's it.
Any pictures of him on that account for
Yep.
later viewing?
Yeah, this is him.
Okay.
This is 100% him.
Excellent. Wow. Yeah, I mean,
PUBG Mobile's a good game too.
I met some strangers. Oh my
Come
gosh,
on.
I've got another great.
I mean,
roommate
surely
story.
if he was number one in the world. Oh, we looked it up. He's not number one in the world.
No.
It's somebody with some
One of
foreign name.
my other roommates, my freshman year roommates. I had two roommates my freshman year. One of them, my buddy Nate. We lived together every year at college.
Good on Nate.
Yeah, I love Nate. He was a good friend, and
That man's got a lot going for him.
yeah, it's just a funny guy. Like he was a good time. Nate was a good time. Like he would do anything for the vibes, like that kind of guy. And then my other roommate, I won't say his name. He was a good guy though too. He like we got along just fine, but he had some quirks. He was like one of those kids that was a little sheltered growing up, so he had that vibe a little bit, and then had a very like a personality that could be very extreme in very certain areas for no reason really. And one of those areas was he had addictive tendencies towards video games, but he knew it and he didn't like it. And like he would tell this story about how the game he was like, we got a decent bit into freshman year, and he would start telling the story about how he got addicted to this game called World of Tanks.
Oh, that's a huge game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he would talk about how in like middle school or high school, he got so addicted to it, playing on his iPad that he had, that he like took his iPad and threw it down a storm drain because he was so upset with himself.
Down
Like
a storm drain?
he was pulling all
Wow.
night.
There's some
Yeah,
thought
dude.
put into that. He had to
The
go
self-discipline there.
outside.
Yes, no,
He'd
that's
go
what I'm saying.
outside,
Like
go
it was
up
like
to
a
the storm
it was like
drain,
a
and
conscious decision to me. Like I said, he had like an extreme personality.
he
in
had to
certain
walk
things.
through multiple doors that could make him think
Yeah.
about what he was going to do, and he still went
and no,
out.
he like his intentions were
I kinda
always
respect that.
He had good intentions. Like his
Oh, yeah.
purpose behind it was like, this is a statement. Like I'm getting this thing out of my life. He was a good guy.
I got
I'm
you.
not
He was
trying
like,
to smear him.
So he wasn't like angry and
no,
went and did it. He
it was like
realized
a
he
like,
had like an addiction
yes.
to it.
So, but
I take back what that's
it was almost admirable. Like it
Yeah.
was just kind of extreme.
Yeah.
And like that's just who he was. And then so he talks about it, and he would like every once in a while we would ask him about World of Tanks, and he would talk about like all the tanks in the game. He knew so much stuff.
That's so funny.
And then one day he was in the top bunk. We had 3 people in my room, and I was on the bottom bunk. He was above me, and then we had one guy in like the loft bunk over to the side. That was where Nate was. And one day we come back, and he's up there on his phone, and he says he's playing World of Tanks, and we kind of all joke like, "Oh no, like you're gonna get it." And he's like, no, like I whatever. Like I forget what he said, but like sure enough, like within a few days, like every day, all day, he's up there playing World of Tanks, and like he would show us his highlights, and like it became, and then. So like that went on for a while, but I think he ended up deleting it again. Like I think he got rid of it after a while, but then that was the year that Fortnite got big.
Oh.
boy.
Trouble, right? So, and Fortnite was a sensation when it first came out, and on our hall in particular, it was if somebody was playing Fortnite on our hall, and we had a type of hall where everybody's door was open, everybody was kind of buddies. It was a really good hall, and if somebody was in a Fortnite game and they were getting to like the top 10. You knew about it and you were walking down to the room to watch. Like you would get 30 people in your room if you were about to win because like it was the beginning of the game, so winning was very sacred. It was like it was such a big deal. Yeah. And at first, I had it in my room and we would play a little bit, but at first like he would just kind of watch. And then we let him. Like he didn't really even have an interest in playing. And I think he even would say things like, "Oh, I just know I'd get addicted to it." He's like, "You don't." He would say like, "You don't want me to play that, or else I'm gonna be playing until like 2 a.m." And at the time, we always just kind of thought he was joking, but he was dead serious. And sure enough, eventually, and this was my PlayStation. Keep in mind, it was my PlayStation.
I'm keeping that in
my
mind.
TV.
Yeah.
And sure enough, one day he was like, "I'll play," and we were like, "Whatever." And he starts playing, and he gets addicted. And it got to the point where like. There was a night where he was playing until like 4 or 5 in the morning probably, and I'm like sleeping right next to this bright TV. And I didn't say anything, but like I probably had rolled over to like look the other way, and the next time I woke up I turned over and he had hung a blanket over where I was sleeping. Like as common courtesy, which like I kind of respect.
Yeah,
that is nice of him.
But like
right there.
his addiction was so severe.
He's a very thoughtful addict.
But it was so severe that he didn't think to himself, you know what, it's late, I should get off. It was, I want to keep playing, so I'm going to hang this blanket up. And like I peek out and he's just sitting there hooked in, didn't even look at me. And he's kind of like put it back. But like that was the kind of stuff that he would do, and it was so funny.
Oh my gosh,
and then
that's so funny.
And so what happened was I kind of started getting sick of it that he was always on my PlayStation. And one day I took my PlayStation to another room so that we had this other room that my buddy stayed in that we would watch movies in a lot. And I took my PlayStation over there to we could play Blu-ray on it.
Okay.
And I had an excuse to move it, but then I purposely left it there because I didn't care to play it.
Yeah.
And I just was sick and tired of it always being played in my room.
Yeah.
And so I left it over there, and it was just there for weeks. And then at one point, like my roommate made a comment, like he like a kind of one of those passive comments of just like, yeah, well, I'm sure like you left it over there on purpose because like I was like addicted to Fortnite and I was playing at 3 a.m. And I was just like, haha, like no. But,
No.
but needless to say, yeah, that was and then he didn't come back to Liberty the next year.
Oh.
There's
Yeah.
Have you ever been?
I think he never while he was there he never really knew what he wanted to study.
well, he played Fortnite straight
Well,
through
another-
the signups for classes.
Well, you know what was another funny thing about him? I could write a book on this guy. Fascinating character. Was he came to school to do something in finance. Then he changed to like biblical studies. But his passion was the weather. It gets better. No wonder he liked Fortnite.
That's
the storm,
awesome.
am I right?
Yeah,
his passion
storm.
was the weather. He would talk to us. He loved weather, geography, and plants. He would talk to us about the weather. He would be looking at the radar all the time, explaining to us. And we were like, you need to be a meteorologist. Like, that is your passion. And he would just be like, no, that's stupid. We're like, no, it's not stupid.
It's cool. It's very
cool.
respectful.
And I was like, you are so passionate about it. You would already have a head start on everybody.
You can get paid to be wrong.
So I kind of have this fantasy where one day I'll turn on the weather and I'll see him giving out the forecast, man. That's what I want for him the most.
That would be.
I think he went to work.
started a YouTube channel called Forecast and Fortnite.
You know what? He might have joined the military.
Oh.
I can't remember.
He's doing weather in the military
That's
now.
not a bad gig.
No. But yeah, he was a hard worker. But yeah, it's just an interesting guy.
You know what? That story kind of made me sad.
Why?
Why didn't he think that he could go pursue something he was passionate about? That's a real
Well,
career,
in the time
man.
he was in a relationship where I think he was feeling the pressure that he needed to get like a good job.
Is he still with that girl?
I hope not.
What's her name?
They were on and off. I'm not gonna say.
Give me a random name.
No, dude.
Just give me a random name.
Brittany.
Come on, Brittany.
They were like,
gosh, of course her name would be Brittany.
They were like on and off
just
dating,
kidding.
and that was always the saga as well. I had two roommates that
She kept him from his passions.
yeah.
He couldn't be a weatherman because all that was happening was a overpowering relationship raining down on him.
Spectating college relationships was a lot of fun.
And he was
Yeah,
addicted
that
to
is fun.
Fortnite. Have y'all ever been addicted to a video game?
Yes.
Really?
I've been able to get addicted to video
And
games
I found success through it.
in like little spurts. Now, early
Never heard of that
Hey.
game, Little Spurts.
yeah, well, early in my life when growing up, I had rules about video games. Most days it was I had a 30-minute timer, and that's how long I got to play video games. And if I played with my brother, we could combine each of our 30 minutes.
Ooh. That's a good
Maybe if it was raining, we got an
Nice.
hour. Like there were occasions where we could play longer, but that was typical. And I respect that about my parents.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
enough for me to play like one game of Madden or whatever.
Sure.
And that was good. I think
Come on,
I'll
Bob.
implement that
Good
rule.
call, Bob.
Yeah, I'll implement that
Come on,
rule.
Bob.
That was
Yeah,
on,
Bob.
That was on Mary
Come on,
Beth.
Bob.
That was definitely
Come on,
on
Mary Beth.
But I'll
Love
implement
those
that rule
guys.
in my household someday because I respect it. But also, though, I will want to play video games with my children. My parents.
Yeah,
don't care.
I feel like that does like whenever you're playing with the whole family.
It's- yeah, when it's bonding, they were
family
cool.
Doesn't
time,
count.
then
But
yeah.
I would just go down to my basement, and in those days, I probably would have played unlimited amounts of time with
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
because I just couldn't normally. These days, I only will get like hooked on a video game in spurts. The last one was Stardew Valley.
Stardew.
I was playing. I haven't played it in a while now, but I was playing that every single day that I could for at least a few hours.
I mean, the way I was hearing you talk about the people in that game, it was like they were.
I loved
close-
it.
they
I
were
was
close
very hooked on
relatives.
that. Prior to that, every few years I'll get into a Minecraft kick for like a week or maybe 2 weeks where like I'll have a similar effect.
Mikey's really into Minecraft right now. I was talking to him
Is
about it
he?
last night, and I was like, "Dude, Trevor loves Minecraft."
I get-
and he was like,
Dude,
"Yeah."
Minecraft's a great
yeah.
game.
That's one that I'll be very excited to share with my kids.
Well, me, Trevor,
When
Brad.
when we had that server, we were playing
we had
a
a
lot.
server. Everyone would get on like every night.
I was playing for hours a day. And then I would say before that, there was a Zelda game that came out that I got hooked on. But it doesn't happen very often for me anymore because I don't play a lot of video games.
Yeah.
But what's yours?
I know Trevor knows this story, but I'm not sure if you do, Silas.
Okay.
I definitely haven't told it on the podcast, so it's a great time to tell it. It's not a story. It's just a fun fact.
Yeah.
I was
I don't see you as a video game.
Well, it's
guy,
a little
first
different
of all.
than just your normal video game, though.
Okay.
I was number 2 in the world on Subway Surfer for a week.
Really?
Yeah. Number 2 in the world.
Like
Everybody,
the iPhone.
the
game.
rest of the rest of the top 50,
Do you have screenshots?
all the names were in different languages.
you don't have screenshots?
I went back in the game.
Yeah, you sound like your buddy Charles.
I know. I
I
accept
believe
that.
you because that's
you
just
can
a
ask
weird
my
thing.
dad. You
I
can
mean,
ask
a very
my dad.
weird thing to
Yeah.
lie about.
Yeah.
I did have screenshots of it
Very
at one
niche.
point. I don't know where they are.
I had a point where Doodle
But
Jump I was up there, but
because I had it
saved.
saved on the app,
Yeah.
but it reset everything because I hadn't played it in so long. So I went in it the other day, and just because I wanted to see, I played for like a few minutes, and I was like, I gotta get out of this thing. The run took me. Now with Subway Surfer, the ratings change every week.
Okay.
So it was only for a week that I was.
So it
number
just
2.
like resets?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's why there's like no history of it that you can find. But the run took me An hour and 47 minutes.
That is insane.
So you're there for an hour and 47 minutes.
I've never concentrated on anything that long in my life with like reaction.
I don't
like
think
that.
I could.
No way. That's insane.
Does it eventually just
Doesn't
stop
end.
getting faster?
Yeah, it probably maxes out at a
Like, does it
speed
max
eventually.
out, or does it just? Are you just?
It can't progressively keep getting
on
faster. I'm sure it
flying.
gets to
Yeah.
a point where it gets to a max
It,
speed.
it gets to a max speed, but not a max amount of like.
It's like, do you guys ever play Jetpack Joyride?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That game would get so fast.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Subway Surfer would get like crazy fast, and the hard thing was is that you could build up keys to use. So that whenever you would die, you could use a key to keep on going. That was part of the strategy for
Yeah,
the
that's
game
right.
was being able to
I
play.
never got that
So you
far.
couldn't just play one round a week. You had to play multiple rounds so you could build up your keys for it
And then
as
you-
well.
So you'd like set up
So
for
you
like
spend
one big
all your
run.
keys.
You set up
on
for
the
like
big-
you have to
big
decide.
boy.
You decide. I've been going for
That's
20
awesome.
minutes. You have to decide.
Yeah.
I've been going for 20 minutes. I
Is it
just
worth
died.
it?
Is this my run? Should I start using my keys? And
That's a
I
big
made that decision, and I happened to be like I got my dad into it. My dad, he did some crazy runs too, and I was sitting in his office. He was working. He was like on a call. And I was just sat in his office for a second, and there was a comfy chair in there. So I was like literally sitting in his office with him. I was in high school probably at this time, and he was on a call, and I just like put up my phone real quick, started playing. Then I was killing it. 25 minutes later, I die, and I'm like, am I using my keys? And I start busting them puppies out. And yeah, I just
Wait, okay. Tell me this: can you buy keys? Like, is this a pay to win game?
You can. I'm sure you can. I never
Yeah.
did.
That'd be crazy though if you could buy unlimited keys. Can you only use a certain amount of keys per run? I feel like you could. I feel like there was a max amount of keys you could use.
There
That would be a
probably
good-
there
Because or
probably
else
was.
people
I
just
don't
have
remember.
unlimited runs.
Yeah.
Like,
But
you could be number
have
one,
to-
but
you
spend
have
like
to play.
$500
You have to
keys or
play and collect keys by doing different missions while
Yeah.
you're playing.
Oh,
so
okay.
you have to. It's not like you can just go in and like, oh, here, watch this ad and you get 10 keys. It's like you have to do missions to get keys and stuff. But yeah, and then
never got
I
that
saw that thing pop up. I'd gotten to like I can't remember. I think it was called Diamond level, and I
they had,
noticed
like, ranks?
I looked at the leaderboard and I was number 2.
That's so sick.
At that point was my name Frisbee Boy? No, I think I was just Konner Kennedy, and little Konner Kennedy up there with his little like hat
Yeah,
and
did you
profile
have-
picture.
did you have
and
all
then
your guy
all
customized
the
and
rest of the
stuff?
50 names were all foreign names.
Dang, dude.
That's big, dude. Big for America.
Yeah,
You
it was
represent
a really
America.
big deal, and I wish
That is
that I
something
cared
else.
more. Like
That's awesome.
I take away I wish. It'd be really funny if I was a pathological liar, because then I could be like make up some kind of story about how like I realized I had a problem because like I missed my grandpa's funeral because I was doing this run and my dad kept on being like, come on, we gotta go. I'm like, this is more important.
Just one more.
Just
Yeah.
one
This is
more.
the
One more
run.
key.
This
One
is
more
it.
key. One more key.
One more key.
But that's not what happened. I didn't miss my grandpa's funeral. My dad got off his call and he said something to me and I was like, and then he just walked out of the room. And I was just sitting in the
But
room.
you were into like Call of Duty Mobile too.
I was
for a
very
little bit,
in college. We played a lot of Call of Duty Mobile, and it was very very fun. We
I
would
was
stay
into
up very
Fortnite
late
Mobile
playing
for a
that.
little bit when that first came out.
That's a thing.
Fortnite Mobile.
That's not a thing anymore.
yeah, it was. It was pretty good. It's a good time.
Surely it's not anymore though.
I don't think so, but it was a thing.
Silas,
It was
what
a
were
good
you
time.
what were you addicted to?
Oh,
Yeah, man. I was
gosh.
talking about
I was really
Not
big
just
into
games,
Minecraft.
anything, man.
Yeah, we all were.
I was big into Minecraft.
Minecraft was one of the things
I've
in life.
never
Because
played
you
Minecraft.
didn't have to have. I had like an old laptop, like just
But it worked.
crappy, but it worked.
Yeah.
It ran Minecraft, and then I upgraded because I was like, I need more. and then I got into modded Minecraft.
Oh yeah, and Minecraft YouTube was such
need
a
more.
big thing too. Well, my thing with Minecraft was it's such a confusing game to like think would be fun when you look at it from the surface. And
Yeah, if you're like Hunter,
Bless you.
if you're like Hunter, you're like, oh, this game's stupid.
Right.
It has no.
and even when I was
quests,
younger, I was like, it looks so stupid to me. The only reason I got into it actually was when Minecraft Xbox first came out, and this was like 2012, 2013 probably. And my neighbor friend had it. We always played Xbox at his house, and I was probably like, yeah, sure, like okay, whatever, we'll check it out, even though I thought to myself, this is dumb. And I just so quickly was like, this is my life now. Like, this is my personality now, because I hadn't played a game in so long that was so open-ended, and yet you didn't know how to do anything. That was the beauty of Minecraft, was you had no idea how anything was done. You had to figure it all out from square one. And that's why part of the beauty is not playing for like a year or two and then going in, because
like, what's new?
There's new things. You don't know how to do stuff, and you're trying to figure it out again. But it was so good. And yeah, I eventually like got it on my laptop. My brother and I would play on our laptop that probably had like 0 to no graphics capabilities, but we ran it on like the lowest settings. Eventually we got a better computer. It was a big part of
Because
our
I had a
lives.
laptop
We played it a ton.
before we ever got like a video game console.
Yeah,
I
we
had
got
a
it.
laptop
We got it
before.
on whenever we got a PS3, we had it on that. We played a lot. Our PS3, I wish we still had that world. We had a really cool world on there, but oh man, we played a lot.
Like, I have this part like addictive personality, because my thing is that like I'll set like once I feel like I've reached, like I'll stop and I won't ever play again. But like the part of my addictive personality is a lot of pride, because if I have a friend that's playing a game, I pick up the game and I do badly at it, and then I say in my head, I will not stop until I'm the best. And so that's what my little cousin showed me Subway Surfer on my grandma's Kindle Fire. And
shout
he
out to
walked up and he was
Kindle
like, Connor, check out this game. And I was like, okay. And he like played it, and then I took it and I swiped a couple times and I died, and he laughed at me and I said, I will destroy you. And so I downloaded it on my phone, and I was like, I will not stop playing this till I am the best. Then there was this game called Baseball Boy or something like that, where you basically, the whole point of the game was you got different upgrades and stuff that would just
Hitting
make you
home
hit a
runs?
baseball further. And then like the baseball would bounce and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Were you guys ever into the Tycoon games?
Oh yeah, Roller
I don't-
Coaster
I don't-
Tycoon and
Yeah.
we had them on. Well,
Where
so
it's just like idle games.
the Tycoon games are one of the best computer games. They make them mobile now, but they were one of the best computer games ever developed for their time, especially.
like Adventure Capitalist.
Yeah, we had.
You know?
I thought you were talking about
that was
Zoo
a
Tycoon and Roller Coaster Tycoon.
I thought that was a credit card.
Oh, you're just talking about Adventure Cap. Well, yeah, the games where you just tap things and then let it idle. Yeah, I played those.
you have any-
Did
do
you
you
ever
have
get into the Zoo Tycoon and Roller Coaster Tycoon games? Did you know what I'm talking about when I say
know what you're
those?
talking about. I never got into it.
So those came out.
There was a game on the Nintendo 64 where you could build an amusement park, though, and I remember that.
Ooh.
Yeah, so Zoo Tycoon, I think, was first before Roller Coaster Tycoon, but it was a very old game. At the beginning, like these were on discs, and the expansion packs, like if you wanted to get the Ocean Animals expansion, you had to get another disc. And
okay.
we had it on our computer that was running Windows XP. Like, this is early 2000s. And the premise of the game was you would basically build a zoo, and it would, like, people would come walk into it. Like, you'd run it. Like, you could speed up time and
Like
stuff.
Sims or...
Yeah, like that sort of deal. And you could put in exhibits. And, like, the funny thing was, though, for, like, me... My sister would like take it seriously, but for me, those games were, okay, let's put the sharks and the dolphins, or like you could put animals in cages that didn't like each other and they would legitimately kill each other. And you could also like, if an animal was like got loose or something, you had to like tranquilize it. Like there were
my
certain
gosh.
parts of the game that were like
Oh.
funny like that to me as like a 10-year-old that I would do, but like they were really good games. And the Roller Coaster Tycoon, the funny thing about that one was, you could design your own coaster. I had a buddy who was really into roller coasters, and he would like replicate real life roller coasters in it, which was really cool. But you could design them, and if I would just make them like insane, like jumping off the track and stuff. But if you made them too extreme, nobody would ride them because like the nausea rating would be so high.
Oh, okay.
But you could make them go underground and stuff. Those games were very fun.
That's cool.
There was also one they made for consoles called Thrillville. That was like an amusement park game like that. Those were like really big back then.
The first game I ever played was on Windows XP. My dad had it. My dad had NASCAR something.
Oh,
Those
heck
games
yeah.
were
And
fun.
yeah,
All
yeah,
of
Here's
it-
how I
steering
played.
wheel
Here's
and
how I
the
played
pedals.
NASCAR. You turn that thing around and you wreck, baby.
Yes.
And it always took a long time to get to where the cars were finally there and you could wreck them.
Yeah.
That's so fun. I played the game like bowling.
Yeah, basically that's how it was. It's like, how cool of a wreck can I make? Because
And you
if I
turn
try-
around and it's
Yeah.
like the controller just vibrating. It's like
wrong way. Wrong way.
Yeah.
If
It's
I
like, will you
tried
move
to-
that
just
sign?
send it.
I'm
If I
trying to
tried
kill people.
If I tried to race normal, I had no idea, so I would always just get crushed.
Basically,
wouldn't
I
be able
don't
to keep-
know.
Yeah.
It'd take one lap
Yeah.
and they'd be gone.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if it was this way for you guys. Maybe I just have a very unhealthy personality. But every single game was just me trying to play Grand Theft Auto until finally I discovered Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, I mean,
Every
fair enough.
single game, Need for Speed, Paradise City, that any NASCAR game, that roller coaster game I was talking about, I would wander around and I'd just try to break stuff. Mario, like Super Mario, would be me just going around trying to break stuff. There was an ATV game. Every single game was I just was like, how can I get out and walk around?
Just
How
like
can I get
open
in
world,
cars?
yeah.
Or I'd be playing Call of Duty and be like, oh, you can get in cars now? That's dope. Wait, I want to get in that car. I can only get in tanks. And all this stuff, immediately, I just want to drive around, and then I want to get out, and then I play Spider-Man. I'm like, cool, I can swing through the buildings. But I just want to get in the cars.
Everybody
and then
always
finally
had
I
a need
discovered
for
Grand
it.
Theft Auto, and I was like, this is everything I've ever wanted.
We always had the desire for open world games because so many games had the illusion of an open world. Like one of my favorite games growing up was Star Wars Battlefront 2. And there were certain game modes that were more open world than others that you could explore more of the map, and like we would play those ones. Like everybody always wanted open world games, and they just didn't exist until games like GTA came out. But now
Because they're so hard to make.
well,
Like,
yeah,
there's so many details.
and it's so crazy now what we have. Like, I mean, then I guess our newest example is the Harry Potter game.
Oh, yeah.
But like when the new Red Dead Redemption came out, and like the worlds are so big, it is.
That's why
absolutely insane.
I could never get into games because I just like I'm not a story mode person. Like I did play some story modes of Call of Duty and they were really good. But like I could never get into doing missions because all I wanted to do was explore the open world. So like I would play the Spider-Man games and stuff like that, and I would just climb buildings and do because that's all I want to do. But then the problem is with that is you do that for an hour and you're like, I'm bored.
Yeah,
I don't,
or like
I
Need
don't
for
want to
Speed,
do
you
this
just
anymore.
want to drive around.
Yeah,
Like,
and so
yeah.
like Paradise, I think it was Paradise City. I can't remember if it was made up by Burnout or Need for Speed. I think it was Burnout, but it was the same thing. It was like an open world game. I never did any of the missions, but then you drive around for long enough and you crash your car like long enough. You're like, I don't really want to play anymore, so I just wouldn't play. So I never got into games that I would play long term, except for Call of Duty. But that's more of a social thing.
Well, now the new
Yeah.
GTA is coming out.
Well, yeah, and it's put the map is going to be like
But now
5 or 6
I mean,
times the size of the last
Yeah,
one.
but now you also got to like show your ID in order to purchase the game and stuff like that because apparently it's so there's a lot.
Yeah, I was
of
never
stuff. Like,
allowed
it's
to play
really
the-
really mature
the GTA
stuff
5
in it.
on it.
So
you talking about the new one?
yeah.
I hadn't heard anything about it.
Yeah, I haven't heard.
Yeah.
It.
Well, I think that's-
I just thought I wasn't allowed to play GTA.
I was.
Well, you got to show
going
your
through,
ID
like-
to purchase the last any M for
I just
mature game.
a lot of stuff on my YouTube is like people giving commentaries over stuff that is basically wrong with the world, and so I scrolled past one and the guy was like, "Yeah, so they're basically you have to do this in order to get the new GTA because it has this in it and this in it and this in it and this in it."
Well,
And
right now,
I was like, "Wow, that's insane."
Right? I mean, yeah, because right now M for mature games, it's 17, right? Isn't that what they make? You have to be 17.
think 17 plus.
Yeah. What an interesting age, isn't
Now-
it?
Yeah, why not 18?
Like, why not 18? Why not make it like
Everything
you just
else
gotta
is 18.
you got to
Or,
be an adult.
You know?
Yeah. It is a weird one, 17.
Because, like, to go see, what is, like, movies?
It has
Is
to
that
be-
18?
Well, NC-17 is the highest, is the worst rating, and you almost never see a movie with that rating. Rated R, yeah, you can. I think you can go into rated R movie any age,
Oh.
or is that
I
capped?
don't know. I've never.
I might be
think I've
capped,
ever
but I know that
to do
NC-17 is the worst one, but you just like almost never see that. So I don't actually know.
I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
This can be a real quick one. Okay.
Okay.
But I feel like I wanted to ask this one on this podcast because I thought it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Let me hold on. I gotta look something up real quick. Okay.
Charles,
So, have you guys ever heard of Mel Chancey?
Mel Chancey? No.
Well, first of all, I need to apologize for everybody watching this video. We're having some issues with our camera. We had to do like a factory reset on it. So every few minutes, you guys turn into stop motion characters, and I don't know what the deal is with that. Because it's just normal, and then all of a sudden, you guys are like. So if you're watching this video, I apologize. We'll get it fixed. technical difficulty. We're human, okay? Okay, everybody? Gosh. Sorry, I just read the comments to this video and it really bothered me.
How long is it doing the stop motion thing for?
It's been doing it the whole episode. But not like the whole, I mean like literally like every 3 minutes.
Yeah,
for
how many
like
seconds?
10 seconds you guys turn into stop motion.
That's what I was wondering.
So it's like it's happening right now and just stop. You're going to make me throw up. Maybe the shutter speed set weird. It's not. Okay. Anyway, so
What's your question?
Mel Chancey.
Okay.
He's a really famous guy because in the like 80s and 90s for about 15-ish years, 14-ish years, he was the president of the Hells Angels. So Hells Angels,
like motorcycle.
yeah. So they're a motorcycle club gang thing.
Okay.
So Hells
Wasn't
Angels.
there a TV show on that?
Yeah.
Is that what Sons of Anarchy is
I
about?
think I don't know if they're Hells Angels. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
It's the only
Basically,
show
if
I
you guys don't know about
gang.
biker gangs, they're really intense. They're running drugs. They're murdering people. Like
Yeah,
it's all
it's
about,
like a gang.
It's gang. They're
Yeah.
gangs. Yeah.
There was a
So-
whole GTA storyline about a biker gang.
Interesting.
In GTA 4.
Just to be clear, I'm not very well versed on the subject of biker gangs. So people listening, I'm sure there's many of you that know a lot more about it than me. So just excuse my.
There's also probably biker gangs,
Yeah, I
like
have
a
no
lot
clue.
that are good, right?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
There, yeah.
Disclaimer.
There would be biker clubs.
Yeah.
club.
So there are good biker clubs. So just excuse my naiveness. But Hell's Angels, dude, they're doing some crazy stuff. And so this guy gets into it because, whenever he's like 15 years old or something like that, he gets really into bodybuilding, starts going to the gym, and he sees these guys that are bodybuilding and they're just wearing jeans and no shirts. And so they start giving him tips on bodybuilding. Turns out these guys are at the time, they're the Hell's Henchmen. This is before they joined forces with the Angels, which was another biker club, and became the Hells Angels. So at this point, they're the Hells Henchmen. And he basically gets involved in the club and everything. Same story that you hear about every gang type, club type thing, which I think this is what people love about biker clubs, is the camaraderie. The family aspect of it. It's all about family. And so he gets like involved in that. They ask him, "You want to be a part of the club?" He joins whenever he's 18. You're not supposed to until you're 21, but he joins. They let him join anyway. And then they, typical biker gang story. You guys know all about biker gangs. So like they start cracking skulls. They start doing like they're going into bars and getting bar fights with the Outlaws, which is another biker gang, like one of the bigger biker gangs at the time. And so they're in Chicago. He's part of the Chicago chapter. At this time is whenever the war breaks out between the Hells Angels and the Outlaws, mainly because the Hell's Henchmen joined forces, like they combined with the Angels, and so that is what like the Outlaws were like, no, like we're not letting this happen. So before this point, it was like you show up to the club, or you show up to the bar, and there's a few outlaws in there, and you got some of your Hell's Angels boys in there. You just beat them down, dude. You're just sending a message, and he said and whenever you're beating the crap out of them, you're making sure they don't get back up. You're making sure they need to be scooped up off the floor, and because you don't want them to get back up and hit one of your guys in the back of the head with the hammer as you guys are walking out. Like you're leaving them on the floor, and so that's like what they're doing. But still, like pretty like just like bar fights and stuff like that, or like things like that. Then out of nowhere, the Outlaws bomb the Hells Angels clubhouse.
He bombed it.
The 40 pounds of C4 in the back of a car. They drive it up to the door and detonate that sucker. There was no one in the club. There was cars there, but no one in the club.
Wow.
So no one got hurt, even though it blew up the entire building, shot out the back door, tore down a house that was across the street. So
That's crazy.
yeah,
So like this place was mangled.
according to Mel Chancey, this was the third largest bomb that had been detonated in the U.S. at that point.
Yeah, I would say when you say 40 pounds of C4,
Something like that.
that's a lot of C4.
yeah, a lot of
Is it?
C4. It was
Yeah.
or like 40
I'm-
bricks of it, but
I'm
still
no
like it
bomb
was a ton of
expert.
C4.
I mean, that seemes like a ton of C4 to me.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong,
And so
but I don't know.
that number might not be wrong, but it was basically a butt ton of C4. I mean, enough to blow up a building and a house behind it, and like everything in the area was destroyed. So this starts the war between
I'd say
them.
so, because that's attempted murder.
Right.
Yeah. So Mel Chancey at this point he's a celebrity. I don't know. really understand, because gangs aren't quite the same way that they used to be back in the day. Like they're like the celebrity aspect of it, but like if you think about like Al Capone, like these people were famous like while they were in the gangs, and people knew they were in the gangs and stuff. But for some reason they were still famous, and I guess again because cops can't completely build cases against them, so they can't quite arrest them because of everything they do, but everybody knows what's happening. So Mel Chancey was no exception to this. He was a celebrity. He would go to places in downtown Chicago, go to restaurants, they'd give him special seats, and then like families would come up to him and ask for pictures with them and like get him to like kiss their kids and like as in like hand them their babies.
I wouldn't want to
like,
go. I wouldn't want to like.
Yeah, so this guy Mel Chancey was known
around
for being like he's a hardcore gang leader of the Hells Angels.
He's like a nice
but
person.
he will not swear in front of you. You could trust him with your kids. You can let your wife talk to him. Like he was like known for being the respectful guy because he grew the way that he grew up. That's how he was. He was for the most part a respectful guy. He just also was cracking skulls at the same time. He in this interview that I watched with him, he kept on talking about these cats were like bad people, and it was really fun to watch. But anyway, this is beside the point. I just thought it was a really interesting story.
Yeah.
He went to jail twice because the first time was for some personal stuff that he was doing. He went to jail, decided he was getting out of the gang. At this point, he was only like 20. Like he had his daughter whenever he was 16, and then entered the biker gang. So like this dude's crazy. But and then told that wife to leave him like really young because he had like a target on his back, and then was with like 4 girls at this point. And then he got out of prison the first time, and he was like, I'm done with the biker gang. I can't do this to my parents anymore, basically. So he goes, he gets out, all good. They let him leave. He was the president. These biker gangs aren't like, they're not like what you see on TV. It sounds like they're more like they're very respectful of each other.
Okay.
And like even the biker gangs, like the opposing biker gangs, they're respectful of each other. He said that after they got out of the war, he sat down with the guys that were part of like beating up his guys and stuff like that and became friends with them because they're the same people. They got in there for the same reason. They were doing the same things, just with a different badge on them. And so I don't understand it. I guess it has to do with a lot of like drug turf and stuff like that.
Probably.
I wanted the question to be asked in there, why were you fighting these people? Why was there some kind of rivalry? I have no idea. I guess that's just humanity for you. But so he gets out, blah blah blah, gets put back in jail, but this time federally because they finally built a RICO on the Hells Angels. So they finally built enough of a case to where they can start arresting people. So they arrest him. He goes to jail. Good this time. Finds Jesus in there. Now he's a very strong Christian. Very cool. But dude, so this dude's anyway. All that leads to my question.
Yeah, that's why. Is there still a question?
If you had a biker gang, what would the name be? And what would your badge be?
I had a feeling that was going to be the question you're going to ask.
I couldn't bring that up and not tell you that story. It was crazy.
That's a good story.
I'm only halfway through this 2.5 hour podcast I'm listening to. By the way, the guy whose podcast it is called The Real One. It's something like that. And it's one of the actors from The Walking Dead.
Oh,
like cool. One of the main actors.
Oh, is it John?
Yep.
What's his face? Barathol. What's
John Barathol.
I've seen his some of his stuff.
His podcast's pretty dope. This is the first episode I listened to. But
yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah. So what's your biker gang?
My biker gang, we would be. I got to think about. Well, I'm thinking like if we were in this area and we were a biker gang.
Let me kind of cushion you with like just a generic one I thought of.
Okay.
Just like it's got alliteration, It's got the word dogs in it, so it's kind of
like dogs.
Something like
I know exactly what mine would be.
Oh,
I know exactly what mine be and everything about it.
I can't wait.
We would be the Water Dogs in our clubhouse.
Okay.
We would meet up at the Water Dog restaurant.
Okay. Do you think they'd be okay with being associated with you guys?
I don't care.
Okay. Oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're gonna bring them a lot of business and
true.
drugs. And because I just love the name the Water Dogs.
Yeah, that's great.
And our badge would be like a dog chomping down on a bone.
Okay.
Maybe like on a boat or something. I don't know, something like that.
Okay.
There's a professional lacrosse team called the Water Dogs, just kind of their logo.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so you're stealing them?
Yeah, we steal.
Oh,
the Water Dogs though, like that would be sick.
They're like a dirty gang. They're not like. Are they like
we're a dirty
the nice respectful? Like you don't trust your kids with them.
You do
no
dirty
not the Water
gang.
Dogs. Dirty.
We'll
gang.
throw them in the water.
Well, what are those?
That's
dogs?
what we do too.
We throw people.
We throw you in the water and send our dogs in after them.
That's the initiation.
Dang.
But like water dog is just slang for a crocodile. So we just send in crocodiles.
Dog is like, I don't know why that specifically laughed really hard. I think I was thinking dogs too.
The dogs.
What?
Because that's just funny, dude.
I was thinking
I
Or the
like-
rats.
I like-
Or the rats.
No,
Dogs or the rats.
rats are gross.
ooh.
All right, what's yours
So-
then, wise guy?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, hit him
mine's
with it.
mine's the Blue Ridge Outlaws.
The Blue Ridge
Okay.
Outlaws. So you want to be the
All right.
Outlaws. You just heard that in the story and you just copied it?
No.
I don't feel like
I
Blue
feel like
Ridge.
every biker gang. I don't know.
No, Outlaws is
They're
sick,
just
though.
tough.
Yeah, I don't feel like Blue Ridge is a very intimidating name though, because it's like named after the beauty of the
Oh, like
mountains.
Blue Ridge.
Well, it's just the chapter.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'd actually be Truck Legends.
I would actually be Deadliest Catch Biker Gang.
What's yours?
Mine
what's
would be
yours?
probably the Riverdale. I'm just kidding.
Oh, River Dogs would be kind of sick too. The
yeah.
River Dogs.
So
would be
that's what I was
sick.
thinking. Something with the James River would be cool. Maybe like the James River Rats, something like that.
Oh, the James River Rats.
Yeah.
I
But
feel like that's a baseball team.
The
or
River
something.
Rats was a hockey team, a minor league hockey team.
yeah, but we steal.
the Albany
We
River
steal.
Rats.
We beat people up. You ever heard of curb stomping? We've seen it happen.
Dude, that's that. Yeah, we curb stomp.
I thought it was just funny to not threaten you with it, but just like I've seen it before.
Yeah. Ooh,
You
I've
ever heard
seen
of
it.
curb stomping? I have too.
Yeah, I've also heard of that.
Word.
But my first one initially, because I like the alliteration, I feel like it's important. Also, I don't know if there's Hell's Angels is a pretty sick name.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah,
scary.
that's-
Yeah, it's
You could
scary.
all, I mean, you could just be the
Hell's
big dog.
Henchmen, kind of
Kinda
dumb.
stupid.
Straight up Angels, okay. All right, Hell's Angels is like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, dude. Dude, we could just straight up be the big dogs.
I think the big dogs.
The big dogs.
So I think I'm going for another one. I'm thinking is the doorway dogs.
The doorway dogs.
Doorway dogs.
heck does
As
that
in,
What is that?
You're not getting through the doorway, dude. You're not getting past this dog.
The doorway dogs.
And I was thinking, like, you often refer to like the entrance to hell as like the doorway, you know?
Oh, the
And
doorway
something
dogs?
like like the doorway dogs.
Ooh, I
That's
also
it.
like goons.
Goons.
Something
Ooh,
goons.
the Good Goons.
The
The
Guggen Goons.
dude.
I'm thinking something like the Mr. Beasts.
The Beast Burgers.
So this guy was talking about how like it's gotten crazy because now these guys that are part of the Hell's Angels stuff like that have social media and are like posting about it. He was like, wasn't like that back in my day.
Well, yeah. Like I said,
Yeah.
I feel like there's a TV show on that.
I mean now it's like
I don't know that there's a, and I might be wrong on this, but I feel like you don't hear about organized biker crime anymore.
dude. There was I wish I could remember their names because I bet it was something to do with a dog, but there was a biker club like 10 minutes from my parents' house.
Hot dog.
Yeah, it was the hot dogs. But it was like it was weird because it was in a really rural, like good old like country area. Everybody's real nice. There's like pretty normal area, and then you drive down this road, and it wasn't a sketchy road or anything, but there's just like this old beat up house with a big old sign over the porch of like their patch.
Yeah.
And it was some kind of dog something.
Sick. When I
And
picture,
my aunt was a sheriff though, and so I thought this is just like a fun group because I'm like that stuff doesn't happen anymore. I thought this was just like a fun group of these retired people. They just want
That's
to talk
what I
about
think about.
motorcycles and stuff.
Right.
Like, no, dude,
You're
there's
bad.
crazy stuff happening there. My aunt told me about how like there's always like there's a ton of stuff with drugs happening there, all this stuff, and I was thinking about rolling up one day and seeing what was going on. Don't go there.
You'd been
They're
one of the-
legit. What are they called? There's the
you'd been
something
one of
dogs.
the dogs, dude.
I'm looking it up.
That's sick. Having like an emblem for your like club or gang is very cool, and I think we need one.
Foundation.
Can us three listen? Hunter missed out because he's not here today. Let's make a we'll call it a club because we don't
we'll
want
have patches. We'll put
we don't
patches
want
on our bags.
negative connotation. Yes, okay, guys. I'm not even kidding you. Let's start a biker club between us three right now. We don't even have bikes, but we'll get them eventually.
Eventually.
And we're gonna get patches and put them on just our bags and wait until like Hunter or somebody catches on and be like, where the heck did you get these sick patches? Okay, so what are we gonna name it? Let's think of that first. Then we need to design the patch.
Is it gonna be something disc golfy?
We'll probably have to let Brad in because he's our patch guy.
Brad is the
But
best
that's cool.
guy.
That's okay.
Well, let me go and tell you. So first of all, if you just look up like biker gangs places, they don't usually just like put the addresses.
Yeah, typically.
It's not like a McDonald's.
Yeah.
Because the first ones that popped up was Freedom Biker Church of Monroe, Concerned Bikers Association, Heaven's Saints Motorcycle Ministry.
You see a lot
so
of
there's a lot of
ministry gangs,
yeah. But then I do a little more digging and I find the Facebook group, and it's the Dire Wolves
That's sick.
Motorcycle
Worst
Club.
disc golf course.
That was a Minecraft YouTuber.
There's a disc golf
Dire Wolf
course.
20.
James Conrad's dad, Jim Conrad, his course on his property is called Dire Wolf, and we played it in like a foot of snow.
Oh wow.
Miserable.
Yeah, it's
Fun enough course. It was just miserable.
So what's our patch?
Okay,
gonna
we
be?
need to think. We need to think of the name first. I kind of like. We got to do something that's like affiliated with our area for sure.
Okay.
Ooh, we could do something with the corn dog thing because it has dog in it.
Is it just the corn dogs?
It could be, but I think we need something that makes it a little angry.
DAWGS. Oh, I think it's like a. Oh, okay. So what's our logo? Is it a corn dog biting down on a bone?
Just a mean
or
corn
is it a dog biting down on a corn dog like it's a bone?
No, the corn dog is the mean thing.
Okay,
Is
so
the
I think it's just a
dog.
really
The
rustic
corn dog is
looking
the
corn
dog.
with like a and it's like biting down on a bone.
Something like that. Just some kind of angry looking corn dog. Yeah. And what's like something that gives it an angry connotation
For the name?
for the name? Something corn dogs that's like to just make it like to give it to the biker feel.
The what's the
raging corn
what's
dog.
the-
Frozen corn dogs.
We had in the fridge that one time we had
freezer
burned.
freezer burned corn dogs. That's
No.
kind of funny.
Yeah, but it's too
not-
long.
Yeah, it is really funny. The frostbitten corn dogs.
What if we just called ourselves the freezer burns?
We could be the spicy corn dogs.
Chili corn dogs.
The
The filthy corn dogs.
the filthy corn dogs.
Filthy corn dog.
I kind of like that. All right,
Filthy dogs. The filthy corn dogs.
The filthy corn dogs.
Filthy corn dogs.
All right, we're gonna get on that. We'll
You guys comment down below if you have good biker gang names.
yeah.
I just want to hear. I will read
Yeah,
them. I want to hear
work
them.
on it, but we're gonna get the
I'll
patches.
pick my favorite biker gang name from
Nobody-
this week and read it on the podcast next week.
No, you cannot tell Hunter. If
I
Hunter's
will
on,
not do
well, we got
that.
to do
I
the
take it
wheel.
back.
I'll do the wheel right now.
Hit him with the wheel. Hit him with the
Maybe I just won't put Hunter's name on there. He'll never know.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here.
Our initiation is you have to eat a corn dog.
All right. So
All beef. Sorry, Hunter.
Yeah.
oh, that is true. That is true. That's why he's not.
We'll
in.
get him a turkey.
We
dog.
can't let him know. He just has to find out organically. Nobody tell him, please.
Yeah.
You can be a part
So
of
are
the.
we
You can
for
be a
real?
part of the game.
Trevor, are we for real gonna make patches?
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
I'm committed. I'll figure
All
it
right.
out. I think it'd be really funny if we
It
had a
would be
fake
really
baked
funny.
biker gang called the Filthy Corn Dogs. Yeah. And maybe I think down the line we could do merch. I'm just like I got
Like
a little
leather vest.
I got a little jealous that they had a fun club. We're not gonna crack any skulls. Might crack some eggs and make some breakfast sandwiches.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna be cracking.
We're, hey,
right.
we're in it just for
Spin
the
the wheel.
camaraderie.
Maybe-
we're in it just for the camaraderie,
All
you
right,
know?
Silas, Trevor, Hunter, Brad, Jason. That's it, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
So we do 2 spins. Maybe
Did
the
you
wheel.
put us on there?
What?
Did you put us on there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the wheel
Well,
will just pick
you
the
don't
same
need to put
cast
me on
again.
there.
No, I did not. Okay. Spinning the first time. If it puts us back on, we can just discuss again. Looks like it's going to be Jason.
Jason.
Okay.
Jason returning. Jason's
Come on.
on a hot streak.
Come on, Jason.
He's been on, what, this is going to be his 3rd now? Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll take his name away. See who the second person is. Looks like it's going to be me.
Oh, come on, Big Trev.
Okay.
All right.
Trevor.
Me, Jason Connor.
Trevor,
New
Been
cast.
A combination no one's seen.
New combo.
Yeah.
All right. Sound effect. Oh, what did we think of one that we needed to do that I was like thinking about?
I'm not sure.
Okay, let's do.
what would your bike sound like?
Yeah. That,
Oh,
I was gonna say.
yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
This is me like I'm revving it up. It's like
I don't think you'd be accepted into the
no.
game.
That's kind of the point though. It's not tough sounding. It's like high pitched enough that you can't mistake it for any other bike. And because of my reputation, there's fear.
So you have like,
My
you got
reputation-
like a crotch rocket.
Yeah, it's just like, but you know whose bike that is, and
Okay.
you are scared because of the reputation.
You just offended all of the biker clubs out there.
I mean, I think that I'm offended, but I'm not even sure why.
I knew I couldn't make an actually tough sound.
Hey, don't worry, man. I'm not going to tell Mel Chancey about that one.
Please don't tell Mel.
Go ahead, Silas.
Okay.
Oh, what the crap, dude? That was a good one. That was
dude.
scary.
It's like a chopper with a turbo.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Now I'm going more traditional here. Like my personal preference with motorcycles, I like more like a cafe racer, something like that. You know, something a little more simple, kind of gas tank seat kind of deal. But we're going into choppers right now. If I'm in the gang, I'm in the gang. You know, and like I got the chopper, I got the high handlebars, them tassels hanging low, dangerously low, I might add. Like I need off-road tires because of how much tassels on the ground. Okay. And it's gonna sound like a chopper. It's gonna be like a.
That's the sound.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I need to change my sound.
No, you got a good sound.
And there's gonna be backfires.
All right, guys.
It's gonna backfire.
Hashtag nobody tell Hunter. We'll get this rolling though. Let us know in the comments what you think about
hit
the
'em with
name,
it.
Filthy Corn Dogs.
Thank you guys for joining us this week.
Corn dogs.